You know, when you're planning anything ahead, or particularly making policies, I mean, for a neighborhood, a region, a city, a country, it's always best not to make the classic mistake of relying on myth, of allowing perceptions to color reality, to change reality. This week, there were two very good examples, I think, which showed this up, and both referred to social class. In the first place, there was Anne Bernstein, that arch pre-marketeer of the Center for Democracy and Enterprise, who referred to teachers as a middle class. And this happened at the very same time that the South African Democratic Teachers Union, the biggest teacher union in the country, was completing its Congress, at which they said not only were teachers workers, they were also agents for change, revolutionaries and socialists. Now, most teachers, I'm sure, who are members of the various unions, do see themselves as workers, but probably not as revolutionaries and socialists. Yet, I suppose, the union leadership would go and act on that basis, which might be dangerous, might be silly at one level. Ironically, however, Anne Bernstein's insistence that there was a growth of the middle class, which included teachers, nurses, etc., and that this would act as a buffer between the rich and the poor to ensure stability, in other words, the ongoing status quo. And in doing so, there was the ultimate irony, because this put her ideologically in bed with those icons of communism, Friedrich Engels and Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, otherwise known as Lenin. More than 150 years ago, Engels referred to the same social strata in society, workers who were paid better, were more highly skilled and had permanent jobs, as the aristocracy of labor. And in 1916, Lenin took that up as well, and they were both referring to workers in England. But the myth, and it is a myth, was shattered in 1919, when this very aristocracy, mainly of engineers, went on a massive strike, despite opposition from both the Trade Union Congress and their own union leaders. This idea, you see, of a buffer is fundamentally conservative, fundamentally pro the status quo. What we need to do is look at the objective reality. And in terms of social strata, social class, I think very much it boils down to the relationship of people to work. You know, to understand how economics is going to affect that as well. At times of austerity, you will find very readily people who subjectively saw themselves as middle class suddenly discovering very much that they're workers. That is looking at reality and not at myth. And that's what I want to look at in my Inside Labour column this week, which you'll be able to read on this platform, Fin24, tomorrow, and in print in the business section of City Press on Sunday. And of course, as always, I would like to hear from you. I'd like your questions, your criticisms, your comments. And you don't have to go via the Facebook portal, because I know some of you have said you do not wish to. You can simply correspond with me through editor@fin24.com. That's editor@fin24.com. And for this week, that's all from me. Cheers.